Week 10 marks the beginning of a ferocious college football playoff race. Three teams benefited greatly from the first college football playoff rankings. Texas A&M is at the 4th spot, Auburn at the 9th spot, and Penn State surprisingly at the 12th spot. However, three teams did not benefit well from these. The Louisville Cardinals are ranked 7th, West Virginia with one loss is ranked 20th, and the undefeated Western Michigan Broncos are ranked 23rd. However, that could all change with this week's game of the week, the Alabama Crimson Tide at the LSU Tigers. Alabama ranked number 1, LSU ranked number 13. Jalen Hurts leads a tough Alabama squad into a hostile environment led by Leonard Fournette. However, the big question is, did the committee get it right? Well, we'll find out, because this week is week 10 and we begin the hunt for the college football playoff.
How's it going, everybody? It's week 10 of the college football season here on the Flash Jordan channel on the Jordan and Dad show. Now, a few minutes ago, the college football playoff rankings came out, and I want to give a quick review of what they were. Now, as you'll see here, there are a couple crazy teams that are pretty high. I'm going to bring in my insider, Craig Dad Cruz. I want you to give me 3 teams that you think are too high and 3 teams that you think are too low, starting with the one you think is too high.
Okay, well, obviously this is just coming from me. So, in the top 25 or the top 10?
Just anywhere.
Anywhere. Well, let me just say that Penn State does deserve to be in there. They do deserve to be in the top 25. They're going to have to win the division and win the championship to even think about the playoffs. But I'm going to say that Florida should not be ranked, even though they're only one loss. I don't think they're that good. And Auburn, although Auburn 6-2. My 2 that I think are the worst, where they're positioned, is Wisconsin and Nebraska. So you have respectively Wisconsin at 8, Nebraska at 10. I don't understand how that happens when Nebraska has a 7-1 record versus Wisconsin that has a 6-2 record. We'll find out this weekend, though. Wisconsin plays at Northwestern. Northwestern's a decent team, which Wisconsin can lose. So I think West Virginia's better than where they're at now.
Yeah, they're ranked 20. That was a little bit surprising to me, too. The Big 12.
And I don't think North Carolina belongs in that at all. Western Michigan surely needs to be there around 10. So they're kind of getting screwed over there.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised how low the Big 12 is. Like, their highest ranked team is 14th with Oklahoma, so I'm very surprised about that. Alright, now let's get into the meat and potatoes of this segment. We have the picks for week number 10. Now, this season has been fantastic. It'll be sad to see it end, but all good things do come to an end. So the first game this week, we have the Navy Midshipmen at the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. I think Navy's going to win this game. Notre Dame has been a pretty disappointing team this year. A lot of people were thinking, Notre Dame possibly could make the playoff this year, but they have done the exact opposite, and I think Navy will win this game.
I'm going with Navy as well. I don't care if they're playing at South Bend. This is one of those games where when I turn the TV on to this game, it takes me like 2 minutes to figure out which team is which. Their uniforms are exactly the same. I'm going to go with Navy.
The next game we have here is the Air Force Falcons and the Army Black Knights. Now, Army has been pretty surprising this year. I did not think they would be 5-3. Of course, their recent history, they have not been a great team at all. And every time the Army-Navy game comes around, everyone thinks it's going to be fantastic. and it really never is. Navy always comes out on top. But that could end this year, and I think they will win
It
this.
could.
And I think they're going to win this game to keep up with Navy.
Yeah, Army. So I'd like to say right off the bat, I'm proud of who I work for and who I'm an Army, right? Their team this year has been better than several years. I can see them winning this game. Here's the deal. I'm not going to talk about a lot of teams, but I'm going to talk about this one. Army lost to Duke. Army lost to Buffalo. Army lost to UNT. One of the worst teams here is they beat Wake Forest, and then they beat Temple and Rice. So, I don't know. I'm picking Army, but look, at the end of the year, they got to face, Notre Dame and Navy. They might have a 5-5 record, 5-7.
Now for the next game here, I do not, of course, College Pick'em does not have the updated rankings that were just out a few minutes ago. But this game, we have the TCU Horned Frogs at the number 17 Baylor Bears with the adjusted rankings. Now, at the beginning of the season, you could see Baylor in this position, 6-1, right? But you definitely did not see TCU in this position. They've been pretty disappointing this year at 4-4. I thought they might make the playoff this year, but things are going down for them right now. I'm going to pick Baylor to win this one, but not by a huge margin, because this game has been great in these past couple of years.
Yeah, let's go Baylor as well. I do like the favorites in all of my picks, but if you look at the past 9 weeks of college football pick'em, you'll see that it's probably not the case. This is a game that could go either way.
And clearly, before we move to the next game, do you think Baylor's in the right position at 17?
Sure. Yeah, they've had some trouble in their organization, and I don't think that they're, worthy of being better than a mid-grade team in the SEC. So, they're in the Big 12. The winner of the Big 12 is not better than the middle-of-the-road SEC. So, no, that's good.
All right, the next game we have the number 10 Florida Gators at the Arkansas Razorbacks. Now, Arkansas had a little spurt in the season when you thought, they could be a good team this year. But they are 5-3 now. They are not in the college football playoff rankings. Now, Florida is ranked 11th in the college football playoff rankings, and do you think that's a good position for them?
At 11, yes. Are there other teams deserving to be there? Absolutely, yes. But it's fine with them. They do have a good program. They're a huge school with great athletes. You have to look at athletes as well. So, yeah, absolutely.
All right, now having said all that, do you think Florida will win this game?
Yes, I do. I really do. I think Florida is better than Arkansas. Absolutely, Florida's got this.
All righty. All right, the next game here, we have hold on, let me make sure. The Oklahoma State Cowboys, ranked number 18, at the Kansas State Wildcats. Now, I think they did probably just switch the rankings so that they're correct now. Originally, Oklahoma State was 22. Now they're 18. Do you think that's a good position for them?
It's hard week 8 for me to be like, yeah, that's good, because, what we've seen so far is a little more than half the season. I think so. I do. I'm not going to disagree with that, because I have more for them being there than I have for them to not be there.
And they are at the Kansas State Wildcats. I actually think Kansas State's going to win this game. I think Oklahoma.
Nope, you're wrong. You're wrong.
I think Oklahoma State is one of those teams that, kind of like North Carolina, when they get this year at least, when they get into the top 25, they automatically have a bunch of pressure on them, and they feel like they have to win when really there's not that much pressure, and then they just choke. So I think Kansas State is going to win this game, but by a slim margin.
Okay.
All right, the next game we have the number 22 Florida State Seminoles. They actually did update it, so that's
overranked.
Agreed. At the North Carolina State Wolfpack, and I have to say, I think North Carolina State's going to win this game. Honestly, they've played Clemson well. Now they did get blown out by Louisville, which is kind of holding me back from picking them, but I still am going to pick them in this game. So I think they will beat Florida State.
Totally. Look, Florida State lost to Clemson, lost to North Carolina, lost to Louisville. can you really say that Louisville and Clemson are bad losses, especially the way they lost to Clemson by 3 points? They got smoked by Louisville though, and UNC. Like, what? Are you kidding me? So I'm picking NC State. When NC State has nothing to lose, they usually win. They have nothing to lose here.
All right, the next game, and this is a big one here. This is an interesting
All
one.
right, let me take over for a second. We have the number 12 and so deserving Penn State Nittany Lions sitting with the Iowa Hawkeyes. Iowa in, what's that place called? I forget. Can you remind me?
Iowa City?
No. The place where Penn State plays.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, it's called
Beaver Stadium?
Yeah. It's a place where teams go to lose, and they're going to win and beat Iowa really bad. Like bad.
I'd say I agree on that one. I think they're a tiny bit overranked. I think they should be a few spots back. But I do think they are going to win this game. But as a Buckeyes fan, I hope they lose this one.
Penn State to lose.
I want them to lose, but I have to pick with my head and not my heart, and I'm picking Penn State. All right, the next one, it's the primetime game on ABC, the number 10 Nebraska Cornhuskers at the number 6 Ohio State Buckeyes. Now, I know, you might be asking yourself, why are you wearing a Penn State hat? So I can put this one over it. Ohio State's going to win this game. I'm not sure how favored they are. It's going to be a pretty close game, I think. But I think Ohio State will end up winning by probably a touchdown, probably like 31-24.
So you saw how Ohio State struggled the entire game with the hard-hitting defenders of Northwestern. The thing is, Nebraska doesn't have the hard-hitting veterans of on defense like Northwestern. They don't have the greatest offense, but you've seen how they can be picked apart by the quarterback-wide receiver relationship. Nebraska actually doesn't have any of that, but they do somehow put it together. They've got great talent, but I don't think Nebraska is going to be good enough. The Buckeyes are just way too athletic for this Nebraska team.
The next game, we have the number 1 Alabama Crimson Tide at the number 13 LSU Tigers. Game day will be here. This will be a fantastic game on CBS primetime. Now, LSU had a really slow start to the season. They're 5-2 now, but I believe they were like 1-2 at some time. I could be wrong there. But they did have a slow start to the season. Now they're picking things up with Ed Orgeron, who is one of the best interim coaches ever. I think a few years ago he did something crazy with USC too. Now, I am going to pick Alabama to win this game. However, their defense is just, cutthroat defense. They are fantastic. So I think they will beat LSU, but I think whoever has the ball last will probably win this game.
So you think it's coming down to the final drive?
Yeah.
Let's go Alabama here, because you don't bet on a team that's undefeated this far into the season. So they beat Texas A&M, who's awesome. They beat them by a couple touchdowns, actually. Actually, almost 3 touchdowns. I mean, is LSU better than Texas A&M? Absolutely not. While they're at LSU, though, it does make a difference, maybe in the initial quarter of the game. But as you can see, Alabama's had double-digit wins since week, 5. So, yeah, Alabama.
And finally, we have the newly number 5 ranked Washington Huskies at the Cal Golden Bears. Now, before we get to the prediction of the game, do you think that Texas A&M and Washington should switch in the rankings? Texas A&M being number 4, which was a big surprise to me, and Washington being number 5.
Well, here's the thing. So if both teams happen to win out, right?
Right.
It wouldn't matter if it was 5 or 4, because if A&M wins out, it could be Alabama go back, and the Huskies are undefeated. That's their chance to get in, because I don't think they're going to let an 8-0 Washington Huskies, a regular season and champion undefeated Washington Huskies slide in under or outside of a one-loss Alabama. So, No, I think it's pretty fair. You got to give A&M credit. I mean, yeah, you had 2 SEC schools in the top 4. It's not cool, but that's what happens when you lose, to Penn State. Only one Big Ten team is going to get in, and that's Michigan. And I got the Huskies winning this game big over Cal.
All right, I have to agree there. At least about 50% of what you said, especially the Huskies beating the Golden Bears. All right, thank you all for watching. If you liked it, be sure to subscribe. Any last words for the people at home?
Hey, keep your name out of the paper, and Dad out.
All right, see you next week.